Hi, welcome back. I don't know what episode this is. I guess that was 5, then 6. I think this is 7. I knew I would be doing a lot. So, anyways, it's nice to have you back here. It's Talk Tuesday. I am Susan B. Lochocki, running for President of the United States as a write-in. And this is my Talk Tuesday evening where I'm sort of covering crime on all angles and brutality and also policing and military weapons and just that whole thing. In the last videos, I think it was crime prevention, and then I started to talk about the peaceful protests and the amount of brutality that was used in that was on display for everyone to see over the last couple of months. And and then I got cut off. So from the last one, I was talking about Hollywood and books and movies and just everything, and how we're so we overly are being exposed to violence. And it's shocking as a person looking from the outside. You know, what happened is when you have a child, you sort of get sucked into the child's world. And so for a long time, I spent time, watching Disney stuff. And it wasn't until after, my daughter got to a certain age that I sort of came back into the, excuse me, my nose is itching. I came back into the adult world, and just everything around was over violence, just killing in all sorts of ways. And it made me really depressed because, why? Why am I insulting my eyes and my brain with garbage? And that's what it is. It's garbage. It serves no purpose. We're not at war inside the United States, or at least I don't think we are. But by watching that, you start to feel like you are, and your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and TV. So you're sending all sorts of messages to your brain that danger is around you. And that leads to people becoming scared and paranoid. And that's exactly the problem. So, So then you have these extreme groups. Now, I know President Trump has been talking about Antifa, I think is what it's called. I'm not sure what sort of group that is. But let's just say that there are extremists in our domestic USA, the continental and all the satellite states and territories and everything. We have a lot of extremists because we allow freedoms. And but our freedoms are only ours and everybody else's when they're alive, and when everyone has the same rights. Now, I have a right to my world and to be alive, and you have a right to your world and to be alive. I'm a U.S. citizen, you're a U.S. citizen. There's no difference. Doesn't matter the color of your skin or your background, or even if you were born a natural citizen or if you became a U.S. citizen. All U.S. citizens, male or female or rainbow, are citizens and the same. Nobody has more rights than the other. The one thing I can say is that human rights, which are citizen rights, is that you don't have the right to harm me, and I don't have the right to harm you. You don't have the right to hurt my private property, And I don't have the right to do that to you. And in the riots, what we are seeing is exactly that. Killing, damaging of private property, and attacks of all sorts, physical harm. And this is not good. There's one thing to have hate speech. Freedom of speech does exist, and speech doesn't hurt somebody unless they let it hurt them. So if somebody says something bad to you, if you decide to take it personally and get mad about it, you're allowing that person to hurt you. But if somebody says something and you ignore it and you walk away, then it's only words and it doesn't hurt you. So you have to be strong, you who might be being verbally abused. I know how that feels. It's not easy to walk away and to feel okay. You might need some help, whether a friend or a counselor or something. But it's only words. The real issue is when it becomes physical and when it harms somebody else physically. So in the riots, who were hidden inside the peaceful protests, they gave the peaceful protesters a bad name, and the riots that happened after the peaceful protests were over in the nighttime, those are not acceptable. And my hope was to get the innocent people off the streets, with the curfews and everything. I thought that was okay. And then only the bad guys were out. And then, I don't know how well they were contained. I don't know if they were really captured and discovered. I hope that they were. I hope we saw justice. I hope we will see justice in the future. But right now, I think the riots are more or less quiet at the moment now. So I hope that, we captured the people and have them under security, and we're looking into who they are and why they're doing this. I have to admit, it's hard sometimes to travel and take care of things and keep on top of everything, I have to admit. But, as far as I know, they're under control. I will say it's not Tuesday anymore. And the news came out today about Breonna Taylor. I think that's her name. And I don't think it's good news for the family. So I don't know if currently things are going on, if people are reacting in a bad way. I do know where I am, everything is quiet. That's what I can say. So the riots, they seem to currently, the earlier ones at least, outside of Breonna Taylor, they seem to be under control now. The situation in Oregon with the people who created their own country in the state, for me, when that was transpiring, it kind of reminded me of the Amish, where people take over a certain piece of land and create their own little world. But on the other hand, people, when you create your own world, again, you're not supposed to destroy public property, and and kill people and other things. So I know also with that some things have happened since it was started, and part of the U.S. is, how can I say this? So the Declaration of Independence is not just about taxation without representation. It's about a lot of things. But I have a feeling there are a lot of American citizens who feel that they are paying taxes without being represented. And I think that's also a lot of what these peaceful protests were about. And I believe that that's a little bit maybe what was going on in Oregon too, is that people were feeling not represented. And so when people don't feel represented, according to our document, the Declaration of Independence, you have a right to fight against a government that's not listening to you. That was the whole point of the American Revolution. So, with all these people not feeling heard, for me, I understood, what the mayor of the city was doing there. And I understood, the people who were trying something. It's unfortunate that it turned bad, but that's part of our culture in the U.S., is to have our rights and to be able to be heard. So, I can understand how everything happened the way it did. I think it has somehow gotten a little out of control, but I might be in control right now. Again, I have to admit I haven't followed it 100% because I've been focused on other things. But the spirit of it was healthy. How it turned out maybe isn't so healthy. But I think what we're seeing is people are not being heard, and they want to be heard. So as president, I'm going to hear you. But beyond that, I should say, as president, I've already heard you. I heard you already even before this year, but I'm hearing you loud and clear now. And as president, I will take action and make this a United States that sticks up for all its citizens, not just some, so that we can be united, all of us. Yeah. I think that's the best way to put it. Also, the sculptures being knocked down. For me, I thought that was okay. I could understand it. My recommendation was to leave them knocked over if they were in a safe place where they could be left where they were. And then have mayors and community people talk with the people in general and decide on their own if it's time to let go of that piece of history and start something new. Is it time to put up a new sculpture? So for me, I was okay with that. I find it shocking, the law that President Trump discovered that would charge people, or charge them, with 10 years in prison, when during our own revolution, again, I mean, for me, it's clear revolution is in the air. That's what we've been feeling all year, all last year, everything. But that's what we did to the British sculptures that were all over the country when we were a fledgling starting out United States. So history is repeating itself with the sculptures. Sculptures have meaning, and some are not acceptable. So it's in my opinion perfectly okay to knock down sculptures. And yeah, the idea would be to not have them hurt anybody. If they get knocked down, that no one should be killed in the process. Or maybe what might now, since we have everything stable, is to talk to your mayor and say, look, there's a group of us that don't like this sculpture. Let's put it halfway down and let's talk about it, so that people know it's in conversation. And the process might take a year, and then, you know, a conclusion can come. So you know, I'm pro hearing what the people have to say. I think, you know, that's why we have freedom of speech and freedom of expression. So, anyway, for me, this is a very healthy year. It's been a hard year. It's been hard to watch. We've seen so much and learned so much. But now we're on the mend. It's time to repair and go forward. It's time to join hands and be united. One United States. Together. I guess I can't really add much more. What do I have here? Oh, neighbors. Yes. So I guess this is perfect time to say, yeah, do unto others as you would have others do unto you. That's the most important thing. All right, I'm going to leave you on that note. I wish you a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. I'm going to talk about religion and non-religion. It'll be very interesting, because I don't think we really have, anyway, we're going to talk next week. Okay, so have a good week. Bye, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.